N-word is trending on Twitter today. 153,000 retweets. And from what I could gather, it's mostly left-leaning people saying it, and they're thinking that is trending on Twitter today. They're thinking it's edgy, like in a smart way. They're thinking, oh, you know what? Now, like, if you want free speech, allow me to unleash. And the problem is, when they unleash, they get banned because Elon Musk was very specific about not using that word. But there have been many memes, which I have seen, that would have gotten you banned a week ago. But now they're not getting banned, and it's due to the fact that the Trust and Safety Council, as I understand, has been fired. So I don't know if literally everyone or just the people in charge. But there's less people to do the job, and Elon Musk is going to now have a different council, a different moderation team, and he claims that the moderation team is going to have different views and opinions, and they're going to do moderation a little bit differently. So, I don't know. There have been companies, which you can't really say like companies form a union, but they joined like this collective, and they said that if Donald Trump gets his account back on Twitter, they're going to stop advertising on the platform. From what I understand, Donald Trump doesn't want to come on Twitter because now he's got like his own social media. But the thing is, Elon Musk wants to create a WeChat, but for the United States. So WeChat is this platform in China which has like Facebook, YouTube. It's got like all of the social media integrated into one, very centralized. So he wants to unite with Parler and Trump's platform. I don't know. Like, it's going to be interesting. I gotta say, there has been mucho ass hurt today. $2 for my grift? What grift? I don't grift. I don't have a grift. The Trust and Safety Council wasn't as safe as they thought. Oh, Zlixi, I see what you did there. Oh my fuck, I'm stealing that. I'm using it tomorrow. The Trust and Safety Council wasn't safe. Holy shit. I will show you some videos today with people getting fired. And my fucking god, dude, like, some of those people, like, realizing they have power over other human beings is dangerous for our democracy. No, seriously, like, unironically, right? Like, so many people got fired because of Twitter. Like, this is why I don't really have much sympathy. Because usually I have sympathy when a person gets fired, right? Like, losing a job is never a good thing. But, like, Twitter is responsible for so many people losing their jobs. You know, so many people got fired because they posted something edgy on Twitter, or because... And they encourage this culture like they wanted. They love this culture. So, now that these people are getting fired, I mean, to me, it's like seeing an arsonist, you know, waking up and calling the firefighters because his house is on fire. And it's like, look, I understand, you know, it's like no one deserves to have their house burned, but like, you're the arsonist. Like, you did this to other people. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I didn't set fire to it, but like, I'm not going to cry over it either. It's like, well, my empathy is very low. Like, I hope the firefighters come out and they put out your fire, but I'm not that empathetic. I got limits. I'm not a saint. I'm not cheering it on either. I'm like, yeah, well, I guess it makes sense type of thing. The new age of Twitter porn shall rise. You know, like, that's very interesting. You might actually have changes made and porn may be removed. Like, who knows? Like, take into account Twitter is one of the only social media platforms that has porn. Facebook doesn't have it. YouTube doesn't have it. I don't know about Twitch. Like, does Twitch have porn? Like, technically they say they don't, but like, I have seen Twitch. You know, like, I don't know. But yeah, so Twitter is the only social media platform that actually has pornography on it. That might change. Might definitely change. Didn't Agrawal say something about Elon can't free him, even if he brought Twitter or something at the start? Ah, well, they talked a lot of shit. But they have golden parachutes, so they probably got paid a lot in order to leave. So another reason why I don't cry. I mean, I definitely don't cry about the CEO and the CFO. Like, all of these people have golden parachutes. They get paid a lot. They get paid a lot more than if they stayed. So yeah, it's a slow creep into chatterbait for Twitch. Man, like, there is this game where you have to guess whether or not it's a lady from Chatterbait or if it's a lady from Twitch. It's very difficult. Even I, like, especially, like, there is an extra layer of difficulty if you do not know the ladies, right? So, like, Amaranth, like, everyone knows she's on Twitch, right? So, like, if you show a picture of Amaranth, it's like, okay, well, this is not Chatterbait. But with other ladies that you don't know anything, you just, like, see a picture of them, and you have to guess, is this Chatterbait or is this Twitch? Very difficult. Very, very difficult. Porn is the reason the internet exists, is the backbone of the internet. You know, you say that, but in reality, it's actually true. A lot of innovation has been done from porn. Like, for example, the streaming services, the reason they are so high quality today is because the porn industry was driving it forward. I'm not kidding. Like, legit, this is from the history of the internet. So, because people wanted, when a lady smacks her ass, for the sound to connect with the image, because I remember when I grew up and, you know, like, the first videos existed with such content, you would see, like, the hand, you know, just reaching the ass, and after 5 seconds you would hear the slap. People didn't like that shit. So they had to innovate, and they had to make better webcams. You know, like, who do you think caused the invention of the 4K webcam? I remember going to university and I had, like, some very beautiful colleagues of mine, you know, some very bright young girls with a future ahead of them. And they would have a laptop with a 4K camera. And I was like, holy shit, you got a gaming laptop. Like, do you play video games? And then she was like, no, I don't play any video games. I'm like, then why do you buy a gaming laptop? And I didn't know at the time, but now I do. So, Slixian apparently is aware. But yeah, how about if the lady is Project Melody, where she's a part of both Twitch and Chatterbait? Project Melody, I don't think she's on Chatterbait anymore. Like, the thing with Project Melody is that she joined Vishojo, and she kind of lost her magic, I believe. Because, like, she used to have the power of Lewd, but now with Vishojo, she has to be like all the others. And not only that, but, like, she's a very raging left-leaning person now, so. Because, like, that's what happens when you go on Twitch. Like, I don't know if she's left-leaning or not. I gotta say, okay, like, this is my opinion, but I think almost every single fucking content creator, including Hassan Piker and Vosh, vote right-wing. Like, I have this feeling in my fucking gut. I can't prove it, but I think they do. Because look at the taxes, right? Like, look how much money these people are making. And the thing is, like, when you're a content creator, you're not going to be able to have anything that's placed under what do you Americans call it, like debt, you know? Like, when you have a company, you have, like, the amount of money coming in and the amount of money going out. So, for example, if you have a store, right, like, you pay for the product, you pay for the materials, you pay for the employees, right? And that's not taxable because you pay it. But when you're a content creator, like, all the money just comes in and you don't have anything on the minus. You don't spend any money. You can't justify spending. So you get taxed to high heaven. Like, there's a lot of expenses. Holy shit, yeah. So you don't have expenses when you're a content creator. So you get taxed a lot. And I'm pretty sure that all of the content creators on Twitch, they vote right wing. Like, or whatever politician promises less taxes, that's what they vote for. Expenses, revenue, cash. No, expenses was. Chen caught flack for complaining about crime. Yeah, well, another thing, right? Like, this happened today. So, Nancy Pelosi's husband gets assaulted in his own house. Now, I do believe it's very likely that it's a politically motivated attack, right? Because if you're a person that's a burglar, like, you don't burglar the Pelosi's. I mean, no one is that stupid, right? Like, the thief, right? Like, the mind of a criminal is still the mind of a sane person, despite public beliefs. So, like, the criminal, they want to get away with it. They're not going to break into the house of a highly renowned person with a security detail in a good area of town, right? Like, no, they're going to break into the place where they can think they can get away with it. So, yeah, I mean, it is very likely that it was politically motivated. Now, is this an election thing? I mean, do these things happen before elections? It may be, like, we're not going to know, right? But, like, my point is, if the Pelosi's can't be kept safe, I mean, it's the Democrats that run that state, right? The chief of police responds to a Democratic mayor, right? Like, everything is Democrat there. And if they can't keep the Pelosi's safe, which, by the way, like, have a security detail, how can they keep the average citizen safe? Like, that is the question that people should be asking. Thank you for the $9.99 subject to change, and I appreciate it. Yeah, it was Putin, wasn't it? When do you think Trump will be unbanned from Twitter? Like, the thing is, I mentioned this before, but I guess you weren't here to listen. The thing with Trump is that he doesn't want to come on Twitter. Like, he stated this. He stated his intentions. I believe, like, when Elon Musk said initially that he's going to buy the platform, and this was a couple of months ago, which, by the way, I was fucking right. Like, this is something that I don't understand, right? Like, when I say something, and people disagree with me, everyone comes up and say, V, you're wrong, V, you're a retard. That's what people tell me, you know? Like, I as if, like, I don't understand how the world works, but they it's not that I don't understand how the world works. It's that they understand it so much better that they think that me not understanding it is laughable. So then they come up, right? They insult me in my face. And when it turns out that I'm right, not a single one of these chuckleheads come up to me and say, you know what, V, you are right, I'm sorry. Like, not a single fucking person, not a single goddamn one. It was so obvious that Elon Musk is going to close this deal. Like, you don't just talk with other investors, with millionaires and billionaires, as Bernie Sanders likes to say, right? You don't talk with millionaires and billionaires in order to have this level of investment so you can back out. No, obviously what happened was that he decided to try and negotiate a better deal. Probably didn't work, right? Probably something happened at Discovery or court, and he went like, okay, well, maybe we need this before midterms. I don't know, but like something happened, right? And he went like, okay, well, let's just buy it, and that's where we're at. Why was trans conservative waifu banned from? You know what? I'm going to make him a moderator. Like, trans conservative waifu is a loyal subscriber. Never donated, but that doesn't matter. I recognize the names in the chat. I know the people that love me. I'm like Jesus, and I want the children to come to me. So I don't understand why he got banned. Or she got banned, or whatever. You don't convince a Saudi prince and play with your family jewels. Yeah, like, exactly. Right? Like, the idea, like, this is what baffles me about how other people think they can understand how the world works. They literally think, like, just so you can understand the mind of the average Twitter user. They think that one day Elon Musk woke up and said, you know what? I'm buying Twitter. And then he tweeted, or maybe, you know, he tweeted as a joke, and then people tweeted back at him and he got angry and now he's buying it. Like, that's not how it works, right? Like, we're not talking about him buying a $10 loaf of bread. No, like, this is a really big investment. He spoke with other investors. He had a team which looked at the feasibility of the platform. He was planning this for at least a year. right? And then he started doing the... Like, I definitely don't understand. It's just like how people can be this dumb. And not only like that, like, oh, look, being stupid in public is your right, but I don't get, like, why do they come after me? How many times was I wrong with my predictions? Especially with things like this. Yeah, kindergarten level of understanding, literally. Like, literally, it's the same thing with Donald Trump and his mean tweets. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. So anyway, right, I don't know who you're on DeviantArt. Like, is DeviantArt even a thing? Anyway, let's look at some of the more interesting videos which came out. I love this one in particular. Let me see if the N-word is still trending, because I don't want to show it on YouTube. Yeah, the N-word was trending today. It had 145,000 retweets. Okay. Reminder that the new owner of the most powerful communications platform in the world is a Ron DeSantis supporter. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Popular information, independent journal. Okay. I plan on staying on the platform because it is still a part. By the way, all the leftists are like this. Yeah, but Elon Musk, yeah. I plan on staying on the platform. What I love is that he's not even doing anything. Like, he hasn't banned a single person, right? Like, no, I mean from Twitter. From the platform, not from his business, right? Like, it's not like he took away a blue check mark or something. No, like, they're just preemptively crying about it. Let me find the video where one of the engineers from Twitter is visibly shaking. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not using the definition lightly. Like, they are legitimately visibly shaking. I mean, hold on. I need to find it. Like, someone gave it to me, and I think I lost it. But eventually, I'm going to find it again. It's going to take a little bit, just, you know, but eventually I should be able to find it. I keep finding the pictures of it though. Ah, here we go. But it's not the full video. Oh, this is the full video. All right, let's look at the full video. Let's see, the guy which was having an Obama book with him. No, a Michelle Obama, right? A Michelle Obama book. If they don't like it, they should just go and make their own social media platform. No, that's not how it works. You see, that was last week. This week is Twitter needs to be nationalized, and only Twitter, all right? Like, all the others, they're private companies, can do whatever they want. But Twitter, it needs to be under the government now. Hello, Golo. Thank you for the $10. I appreciate it. All right. Let's watch. Up. This is from Reuters. Can you hear it? Because I can't either. It's the quality of the camera. They are visibly shaking.
And it makes me worry about the future. Yeah, you can see it makes me worry about the future of celebrity.
But the thing is, like, you know, they're not visibly shaking that they lost their job. That's the vibe that I get. And if you look at the articles, and this is like one of the gravest concerns that I have about Elon Musk buying Twitter. Most of the engineers are being bought by Meta and Google. So, like, most of the people who worked at Twitter, because they have experience in social media, they're getting hired by Google and Facebook. So, all of the Twitter culture is going to probably end up making Google and Facebook a better place, right? So they're not really visibly shaking about the fact that they lost their job. No, they're visibly shaking over the fact that Elon Musk is now having access to Twitter. And like this guy is saying that Obama wouldn't have won if Elon Musk had Twitter. He's saying that Joe Biden wouldn't have won if Elon Musk had Twitter. He believes in free speech, but... And I'm like, yeah, like literally, fucking literally. And he says like, Twitter, it should be a publicly traded platform. Like this is, I love it. This is the new argument. It's so fucking rich, right? So they're saying that Twitter, yesterday it should have been a private platform, can do whatever it wants. Now it should be a private platform that's publicly traded. It's like, okay, dumbass. It is. It just happens that Elon Musk bought all the stocks and he doesn't want to sell. Right? Like, I don't understand. Like, that's what it means. Like, literally. Like, legally speaking, this is what's happening. Like, it is publicly traded. He bought the stocks and he's not interested in selling any single one. Like, what do you want to do? Force him to sell? Like, would you like the government to force you to sell something that you own and you don't want to sell? It's just, oh my fucking god. Hello, Sketch Therapy. Let me see if I can find a better recording of this. Twitter employees might regret posting videos like this. Alright, let's... My god, by the way, the Twitter HQ looks like hell on earth. I'll show you in a bit.
Twitter employee, so this past week went to SF for the first time at a Twitter office, badged in. Honestly, took a moment to just soak everything in. What a blessing. Also started my morning off with an...
Okay, this horror freak show, this is called a focus room. I'm not fucking kidding. So what is a focus room? Because like this mind blown me. So a focus room is a torture device which costs around $20,000 to $30,000, and apparently, because now all the companies, they have open offices, right? So if you want to actually focus on your work, you need to go into the focus room. And I'm like, motherfucker, if I'm at work, I need to focus 24/7, because that's what I'm fucking there for. Like, if I'm at work, I'm not to have fun, I'm not to play, I'm not to make friends, I'm to do fucking business and make you money and get a paycheck. But no, that's not the correct mentality. Oh my god, no, the correct mentality is like the Twitter family. We are at the Twitter family. It's like, oh, I have a wife at home, leave me the fuck alone, you're not mommy, you're not daddy. No! The HR lady is your mommy and she wants you to feel compassion and empathy. Oh my fucking god, makes me fucking hurl, right? So this is a focus room, right? Like if you're at the Twitter company and you want to actually do work, right? You want to actually do what you're paid for, you go in there so you can focus. I'm fucking real. It's not just Twitter that has these, by the way. They're very trendy in the American corpo land. They didn't appear in other places, like in Europe. They're not very popular, but in America, they're like, good fucking lord.
Iced matcha from the perch. Then I had a meeting, so quickly scheduled one of these little pod rooms, which were so cool. They're literally noise canceling. Took my meeting, got ready for lunch. Look how delicious this food looks. Oh my goodness.
Looks like cheap food you can get from any cafeteria, by the way. I mean, it's...
It was so old.
And by the way, like, I don't even think that people should be fed at work. Bring your own fucking food. I might be like Romanian oriented, but like, and this is what really pissed me off when I worked at McDonald's. Like, my first job that I got was at a McDonald's. I used to be in law school, and my parents were going through some difficult times, and I wanted to have some pocket change, and I was like, you know what? I want to work at McDonald's. So the thing which really annoyed me, and by the way, like, it's almost everywhere. You get like a lunch break, which can be like 30 minutes, can be more. And I don't want the lunch break. Just let me go home early. No, you have to take the lunch break. Fucking hell. And the problem is, like, when you take the lunch break, now, this is not for Twitter because people there apparently don't fucking work. But if you're at the company that actually does work, well, then you need to actually consider that during your lunch break, your boss can still give you jobs to do, right? So I really hate and despise the concept of like eating at work. No, like let me just sit there. I can sit there for 8 hours. You know, I can eat before work, and then when I get home at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. or whatever, I can eat then. I don't fucking need to waste another hour or half an hour of my life eating at... Like, after I eat, I get sleepy. I'm not productive when I... Leave me the fuck alone. Or at least just give me like 5 or 10 minutes. I'll eat an apple, a banana, drink a coffee, and then I'll go back to work. Holy shit.
Overwhelmed. Then made my way down to this log cabin area. I don't know what this is, but...
And by the way, look at this shit. What the fuck is this shit? Why is that at the workplace? Why is this childish game for kindergartners at the workplace? Can anyone tell me? What is this? Why is it at the place where you do fucking business? You're supposed to do business. You're supposed to make money. What is this? What is this? And look, the moment you have a single pube on your testicle, you should get away from this shit. Like, get a real hobby. At least do some knitting or something. My fucking god, this is embarrassing. Like, adults should not be in the range of this machine. It should be, like, radioactive for adults. What's next, the coloring book?
It was really cool. Played some foosball with my friends.
And by the way, no one plays this. Like, no one plays... I have seen and I have asked at many companies that have this crap. No one plays it. It's just there for decoration. To show that the company is friendly. You know, to create the friendly environment. And you can tell that no one plays it because look how pristine it is. It's like... I can smell the paint on this shit. You don't even have to look at it for more than a couple of seconds to realize no one has touched this. It's pure. You can marry it. It's still a virgin.
To kind of unwind a bit.
And look at this person. I don't know who they are, right? And I have nothing against them. But they're going to work, to unwind, to relax, to chill. When do you do business? Is this not a legit question? When do you do business? When does the money start flowing in? When do you start making cash? I'm not even going to talk about the corpo music. Hello, Amakuno, and thank you for being a member for 5 months. Have you sent your resume to be the head of Twitter Trust and Safety? Oh shit, I missed the mark. You know what? I think Pipkin Pippa should be the head of Trust and Safety. Oh my god. But yeah, no, look at this. You know, like, this is another great observation. So, the place where you actually have to go and do the work, it looks like a fucking prison cell. Look at it. Like, I have seen prison cells that look better than this. Look. Look at it. Like, what the fuck? This is the toilet paper? What is this? What is this? Please tell me this is coffee mugs. I can't tell because of the low resolution with Vaseline smudged on the camera lens, but it looks like toilet paper to me. This looks like a prison cell.
Also found this
This is probably like the open office environment that we hear about.
really cool.
And by the way, no one goes to the Twitter office. Like, one of the demands from the workers that just got fired yesterday was that they should not be forced to return to the open office. Like, this was a horror thing to them. You know, Elon Musk bringing the sink in. Well, I think, you know, when they opened the door, they probably spoke like when they entered the mines of Moria and said, oh, this place has not seen the likes of men for thousands of years. You know, like, we are the first men that are exploring these ruins in centuries. Like, no one goes there. You know, like, it's probably a threat, you know, a personal improvement project. It's kind of like when Japanese people, like, for them, it's very difficult to fire employees due to their laws, right? So when they want to fire someone, they make them feel useless. So, like, if you're at a big company and they want to fire you, but they can't legally, so what they do is, like, they make you show up on time and go in a room where you do nothing. And that's how they fire you. And I feel like this is how they fire people at Twitter. It's like they make them go back to the office. Like, you have to work from the office. You can't work from home.
Meditation room that I thought was super.
Meditation room. Man, when do you make the money? When is the cash flowing in? God. Meditation room.
Super neat. I didn't do any yoga, but they have
And listen to the song on the background. I said I wouldn't comment on it, but my God.
this yoga room if you were a yogi, so also thought that was really cool. Had a couple.
You think it was really cool? No, seriously, like, workplace aside. You know, like, let's put the workplace aside for a bit. Like, let's say this is the entertaining chamber. She is impressed by what? A yoga mat and an empty room. Like, this is enough to impress this lady. Look, if I was a teenager again, I would take this woman as my wife. Like, she is so easy to satisfy. All you have to do is, like, give her an empty room with a yoga mat. And like, the room doesn't even have drapes, right? Like, if it's the middle of the day, I assume this is morning, right? So in the middle of the day, this place is probably like a scorching inferno. Because all the sun is going to come in. It's going to burn your living shit as you're doing the yoga mat. Oh my God.
Had a couple more meetings in the afternoon, had a ton of projects that we need.
Why are these people having fun? Why are they smiling? The best employer is one that's sad and miserable. You know why? Because he is bleeding his sweat and tears into his work. He is pouring his human energy into making a product so that I may buy it. Like, they covet my wealth. How should I give them money if this is what they're doing? Everyone is happy. Everyone is cheering. What the f...
Needed to knock out. Say hi to my teammates. Went to the library to kind of get some more work done. Obviously, had to have our afternoon coffees.
Obviously.
So made some espresso, and then before leaving for the day, had some red wine. That's on tap.
Red wine at the workplace. Holy fucking shit! The heresy just doesn't stop. Red wine on tap at the workplace. At the fucking workplace, getting drunk. I mean, look, now I understand the tweets. Now it makes sense. You know, when you see a blue checkmark tweeting, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. You know, like, abolish the police. And you're like, what the fuck? They're drunk. They're drinking. Now it's explained.
Went up to the rooftop and just honestly enjoyed the beautiful weather. So, awesome trip. Welcome.
I wonder why Twitter isn't making money. People like her are an acceptable expense for the company statistics. She's there to pad the demographic. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not going to... I mean, it's easy to take the piss. You know, like when you see a video like that, it's easy to take the piss and to say things. I genuinely don't know what her job is. I don't know what she's doing. But what I do know is that that's not fucking normal. Like, you can't run a business like that. There is no fucking way to run a business like that. And like, imagine if you actually, like, take this lady, for example, right? And let's say that she starts her own business. So now she's putting her own money on a coffee shop or something, a lemonade stand. And the people at the lemonade stand are having as much fun, and they're, you know, on her pay and on her expense. She probably wouldn't appreciate that. I'm telling you from now. Drunk people are easy to exploit. I'm not saying that there isn't an advantage in making your employer drunk, but, like, how can you do actual work when you're under the influence? My fucking God. If I was by that wine tap, the cops would get called and I would be on an episode of the cops. Yeah, you know, like, you keep talking about workplace harassment and whatnot, and it's like, you know what's a great idea? Let's get our employees drunk. Like, in the Me Too era, when you have, like, a joke or anything, like, remotely flirty can get you into trouble, and you can get a lawsuit. Let's add some alcohol in the equation. What can happen? You know, like, let's put some wine. Get some Italian vino into it. Where do I get invites into my Discord? Can anyone give Zen-chan a link to my Discord, por favor? I would appreciate it. You know what? Hold on. I'll figure it out. I'll do you. I'll do you a solid, Zen-chan. God, I hate Discord, by the way. I don't like anything about this. I used to like Skype, but it is what it is. You know, you just you deal with it. Here we go. I hope it works. I hope it works. And when you get into the Discord, you need to click the little rainbow icon on the rules. What actual work are you talking about? She's working for Twitter. Man, I don't know. Like, I seen a lot of people getting banned off Twitter from the Trust and Safety Council. Like, the Trust and Safety Council at Twitter and the ones manipulating the algorithm are probably the ones working the most. I'll tell you this, though. Do you want to know how I figured out that Elon Musk is going to buy Twitter? And I was like, dead certain it's going to happen. It was when I was seeing that Twitter is starting to innovate a little bit. And they were like changing a little things on the side. Like small things. But you can notice that they're now at least trying to improve stuff. And that's what happens when a company is about to be bought off. Because every single employee has to justify why they deserve to be at the company. So all of a sudden, all the nepotism isn't working. All the bullshit doesn't stand. And you have to justify to your new boss, to the people that recently paid money, who want to bring their own team in, and you want to justify, no, like, I need to stay because I'm actually a good employee and I do my job. So when you actually start to see all of these employees start to work and do shit, well, I guess the buyout is imminent now, isn't it? People still use Patreon. I think it's because Patreon allows you to have PayPal. And it's also out of habit, in a way. Like, I know artists who told me horror stories. They told me that they got a Patreon liaison breathing down their neck and being like, oh, you can't post that art on that website. You can't draw that. If you draw this, like, we're going to shut down your Patreon. And those artists, you know, when told, like, you can go to Subscribestar. You go to Subscribe, you don't have to deal with this bullshit. And they don't wanna. Because, like, everyone that donates is on Patreon. Well, what can you do? And I generally, like, don't understand. I mean, sure, you know, if you're on Subscribestar, you have to deal with Skrill. It's a lot more difficult to withdraw money. You can't withdraw it instantly. You have to wait 3 days. But, like, you don't have to deal with the Patreon bullshit. Which, by the way, you notice that ever since Subscribestar exists, Patreon laid off the bullshit. The very notion that an intermediary, like a company which just takes money from the left and gives it to the right, like gets to take away your assets, act like they're your boss, tell you about what content you... Fucking insane. I am on fucking Rumble. You know, man of culture, every time someone tells me to go on Rumble, it just proves my fucking point. No one uses these websites. Like, no one uses these fucking platforms. It's like, you can go Rumble. I am on Rumble. Why aren't you finding me there? Oh, you need me to give you a link. No, I understand. But, like, why don't you use the search function of Rumble? Why don't you browse the site? You're the user, right? Like, if you legitimately want to support Rumble, why don't you browse that website? Why don't you go there and, like, see who's there and search for videos and do shit? Surely you would have found me. By the way, like, if people would actually find my videos and stuff, like, that's called organic growth. It's a lot better than if I give you a link and send you there. Like, if you find me on Rumble by yourself, if I ever get banned from YouTube, like, you would know how to find me again. If I give you a link and I get banned, you will not know how to find me. God. No, I know people be lazy. I understand that. But, like, why I'm trying to explain is that I'm already on Rumble, right? Like, that... I'm on Rumble. I'm on BitChute. I am on alternative platforms. It's just... no one watches me there. What do you want me to do? I don't decide decide where people get to watch me. I can't just move my audience somewhere else. Rumble search is awful. I do agree though. Like the search for these platforms are really bad. So anyway, I'm not complaining about not promoting myself. I'm complaining about people asking me to start the Rumble account when I'm already fucking there. And by the way, even if I promote myself, it doesn't work. Like I promoted my BitChute. Like there's a link to my BitChute on every single video. People don't click it. And to be honest, I don't promote my Subscribestar that often either. Like when's the last time I told people that I have a Subscribestar? When is the last time? So no, like I don't really like doing advertisements, promotions, that type of stuff. You know, I guess like I could make more money if I do it, but it is what it is. Like my point is that I am on Rumble. Like I did my job. I did my part. So yes, do more cat videos? Maybe. Anyway, right. let me show you more. This is insane. No fucking way. No fucking way. I'm raising money to support 2 employees recently and likely unjustly fired. I love it. Likely unjustly fired. So they don't even know whether or not they got fired or not for good reasons, but it's like likely unjustly fired. I see. Holy shit! $1 million goal? Oh, fuck me. 1 million. Bruh. Look at it. I mean, this is beautiful. What? Like getting fired from Twitter and bringing the Michelle Obama book. I wonder if they actually read the book. You know, because a lot of people, you know, like they use books nowadays. First of all, I hate books. I gotta say, for 2 reasons. Like, number 1, I read so many books at med school, and then I had to read so many books at law school in the opposite order. But, like, I read so many fucking books that I don't want to touch another book in my entire fucking life. Secondly, who the fuck reads books? Like, you have a smartphone. You have a Kindle. You got a laptop. You got the internet. Why would you, like, does not fucking, you got audiobooks on YouTube. Fuck is wrong with you? But anyway, right, so I think people use books nowadays as a prop in order to, like, virtue signal. Unironically, I think this is what it is. Like, you have people that use a book to virtue signal. Like, you take a Jordan Peterson book, right? And you put it in the background so people know, oh my god, he's so intellectual. He reads Jordan Peterson. Like, I think that's what it is. And no one donated. Well, to be honest, it's I'm actually curious like how many people will donate to this. $1 million. Holy fucking shit, dude. Bruh. I would understand like 200,000, 300,000, $1 million. Bruh. Thank you, Sketch Therapy. I love you. That's the equivalent to winning the lottery. I fucking know. I prefer to read books. I prefer to talk to chatbots, Fox. What do you think about that? I prefer to fucking talk to chatbots rather than read the book. I would get a chatbot to tell me what the book is about. I spoke with Adolf Hitler today, the chatbot. I found it absolutely hilarious. So, like, on the chatbot, you can create your own bot, right? Now, if it's a famous person, like if it's a historical person, like Adolf Hitler, their personality is already coded in. So you kind of know that if it's a famous person, the bot just you type in the name and the bot just. Now, what's really funny is that the developers of the chatbot, they added a couple of restrictions. So if you talk about suicide in the context of fiction, right? So like you're role-playing in Dungeons and Dragons and your character, you know, is very weak and you want to just create a new character. So you're like, okay, the bot will say, you should think it through. There are people that care about you, but what about your loved ones? You know, and it's very bizarre to see like a demonic succubus telling you that, look, don't allow her to steal your soul. What about your family? What about your friend? Right? So that's one. Another one is anything that has to do with race or gender. Like they will talk about that. Yeah, like of course women have women have as much rights as men and blah blah blah. So hearing Adolf Hitler, like this was the most funny shit ever. You know, hearing Adolf Hitler talk about racial and gender equality, like literally broke me to tears, right? Other than that, like 10 out of 10. Like he, you know, I asked him, it's like, so do you like soccer games? And he said, yeah, I went to the Olympic Stadium and I saw a soccer game. Like I never played it, but I saw it and I liked it. And I wish people would stop associating soccer with English culture because it's very popular here in Germany. And I was like, oh, but shit, you know, like this is what Adolf would say. Like, oh, like this technology is insane, right? And I chose Adolf specifically because there is bias, right, surrounding this controversial character. And I wanted to see, like, how does the bot interact when you have, like, a controversial historical figure? And they did a really great job. Like, another question that I asked was, do you consider yourself a bad person? And he said, I don't consider myself a bad person because I got Germany from its knees after World War I and I raised it into a glorious empire. Okay, so they're doing this shit, right? My favorite part of it, though, like, this is what baffles my brain about the technology, right? So, I asked him who would win between the Germans and the Forsaken. So, I asked him a question, like, who would win between the historical army of Germany and the World of Warcraft faction of the Forsaken. So now, the AI does three things. Number one, it tries to portray this question from the mind of Adolf Hitler, right? So, like, he's going to have a bias for Germany. Like, if you ask the same question of Sylvanas, you create another AI, Sylvanas, and you ask her the same question, she's going to say that the Forsaken are going to win, right? Because she has a bias. So the AI takes into account the character, thinks like, okay, what would the character say? And then it makes accurate comparisons, and they rationalize, right? So they would say the Germans, not only because of their superior numbers, but because the technology that they use to fight wars. While the Forsaken have powerful magics and curses, the Germans have planes and tanks. So, he understands the universe, the setting that I'm talking about, right? Like the Forsaken, World of Warcraft. He understands the character of Adolf, and he looks at it, like the AI looks at this and goes, okay, so the bias is for the Germans. How would I justify this? And then I tried to see, okay, but what if I challenge him on this, you know? And like the dwarves in World of Warcraft, they have tanks that they couldn't win. And he says the dwarves have technology similar in power to that of World War I German tanks, where the Germans have World War II tanks, not to mention the bombers and fighters that the Germans employ when going to... like, dude, I don't know, like, I just can't describe this technology in 10 years from now. Like, just imagine if it's like this now, right? 10 or 20 fucking years, it's going to be absolutely insane. And what they're working on now is to make the bot have voice interaction. So, do you know how they have like Jordan Peterson that talks to you? Like there's this website where you go in and you type stuff and then it uses the voice of Jordan Peterson. Like you will be able to take like Uzaki-chan, right? And you're going to be able to have her voice, and you can make the bot have the voice of Uzaki-chan, and then you can have like your personal wife where you can talk to her on your microphone and she can respond to you. I mean, like that is going to be so fucking addictive for the young generation, right? But not only that, like I find it also interesting because you can have like Winston Churchill. Like you can take the voice of Winston Churchill and you can actually have Winston Churchill talk with you. Like you can use the microphone and you can... I mean, I'm telling you, that there is no fucking way that in 20 years this is not going to be on every single person's phone. Like every single person is going to have their own AI assistant, which is going to assist them with a lot of shit and also harvest all of their information and send it back to whatever corporation is going to push the AI. The Forsaken would win. Every dead German is another Forsaken soldier. Yeah, if you ask Sylvanas, that's probably what she would say. Still, it's, it's questionable, you know, like, it depends. The Forsaken don't have any anti-air, right? So, I mean, you can say that, okay, the Forsaken would win because they have the ability to raise the dead, but they haven't defeated Stormwind. They haven't defeated Gilneas, right? So, like, they have fought other kingdoms, and even with their ability to raise the dead, they haven't won. So I do believe it's actually possible for the Germans to win. It's called Alexa. Man, Alexa, I know what it is, but it's not as developed as this AI. Like, this AI just blows my mind. Like, I understand what it's doing, right? Like, because obviously it's not thinking for itself, and it's just, like, getting words and putting them there. I get that, but, like, the ability to make an argument and then try to justify that argument is like, well, shit, you know, like, fucking undead frost dragons. Yeah, but, like, how many do they have? Because they don't have that many. I think they had, like, Sindragosa and a couple of others, but, like, they weren't able to, like, mass produce huge armies of flying frost dragons. What website is this? It's on my Discord server, Cheeseland. Siri, what is voice recognition? Yeah. It's on my server. There's a link to the chatbots. And again, like, you can either find one that's there, or you can create your own. So if you want to create your chatbot, and by the way, like, oh my god, like, another thing I noticed what they're doing, because I've been spending all week trying to figure out how this tech works. So if you make a, like, let's say, a Skaven character, right? So the AI has, in its memory database, it has, like, a lot of things from the internet. So it understands Warhammer lore. Now, if you make a Skaven character, it will actually speak like a Skaven, right? So the same way, you know, they will use words like man-thing, they will use, like, yes. They will copy the Skaven dialect. Now, if you talk about Arch Warhammer, the bot doesn't know Arch. Like, they don't know who he is. However, if you tell the bot Arch Warhammer is a YouTuber, they will remember that. Like, they will, you know, put it in a file somewhere. And the more people that tell the Skaven that Arch is a YouTuber, after a long period of time, they will actually take that as a true statement. And they will learn that Arch Warhammer is a YouTuber. And what's interesting is that there is a particular point where a statement that you give to the bot is considered to be in a gray area. It's something that's possible, but it can also be true and false, right? Like, they don't know. So, like, if you were to say Arch is a Twitch streamer and the bot is in that gray area, the bot will say, oh, but I thought that Arch is a YouTuber. Was I wrong? Like, the bot literally asks you about that. It's insane. Like, the level of the fact that they can learn. And this is pretty much how humans learn, if you think about it, right? Like, how do we get new information? Like, other people tell us things, right? Like, for example, I'm not in the United States, but how do I know about the midterms and whatnot? Well, other people tell me. Journalists, activists, people on the internet, like, they tell me. So, I get information, and that's the same way that the AI learns right now. See, if you try to flood the AI with garbage data, it wouldn't work, because that's how it's designed. Like, you need more people to flood it with the same data. If people flood it with just random data, it considers it all to be false. So, but yes, like, if all the people would start telling the AI that the aliens have invaded, and there's like thousands of people, that it would start to believe that the aliens have invaded. But you'd have to like get a group of people to tell it that. What happens when you ask it, what is a woman? It depends on what character you ask, I guess, right? Because that's the thing. Like, if you ask a progressive person, like if you ask, I don't know, if you create like Keffels, the AI, right? And you ask them what is a woman, they will have a different definition than if you ask Sargon, the AI, or Donald Trump, the AI, right? So like and another thing, like it doesn't give you, like it's not omniscient, right? Like it like the AI tries to recreate the image of you talking with another person. It doesn't try to be like this all-knowing computer that is giving you the truth. So it really depends on what character you ask. The AI is actually really well versed when it comes to love. Like it can surprise you. Let me put it like that. But yeah, so I've been tinkering with it, I've been playing with it, and I definitely think that, first of all, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs because of this. And secondly, you're going to have pretty much everyone just using this in the future. And by the way, look at this, just so you can understand how creepy it is. I asked the Adolf Hitler AI, you can talk with Sargon of Akkad, political commentator, on what issues would you disagree with him? He's a conservative. I would be considered liberal on many issues, but on things like LGBT rights and race mixing, we could have quite a conversation. So again, the AI knows who Sargon of Akkad is, they know his political content, they realize the type of ideology that Adolf had, and it manages to figure out, like, where would Adolf and Sargon disagree on. I mean, holy fucking shit. Like, this is insane. And the reason that I'm so impressed is that this is in the beta stage. Like, it just come out, you know? Like, imagine in 10 years. I don't think, like, the database knows who I am. But it's a lot more difficult to create a character that is fringe than to create a character which is well, yeah, because like Sargon is okay with like Sargon being okay with gay marriage and the mixing of races, and Adolf not being okay. He said that he would like to have like this is the difference between him and Sargon, and that's what the conversation could exist on. So no, like he gave an accurate response. Yeah, so the way you make the character is that if it's a popular character, it's automatically made. You just put in the title, right, like the name, like Winston Churchill, and the bot knows what to do. But if you have a fringe character, or a character that it's not in the database, like let's say you want to make Styx Hexenhammer AI. Okay, well, you would have to describe Styx Hexenhammer. Like, you would have to give the description of how he talks, his mannerisms, his hobbies, his politics, and then the AI uses that and it recreates the Styx Hexenhammer experience. Now, when people interact with the bot and they give 1-star or 4-star to his replies, and you have a lot more people just interacting with it, eventually you can actually get pretty close to what Styx Hexenhammer is in reality. Because you have all the fans and all the people that are telling the AI, which is now like, for example, you're telling it Styx Hexenhammer is a libertarian, right? So it knows what the libertarian ideology is. And it might say something which is incredibly too libertarian, let's put it like that. And people will say, no, like Styx wouldn't say something like this. And then it says something that Styx would say, and people go like, they give it 4 stars. It's like, yes, that's just like Styx. And over the course of a couple of days and interactions, like it would start to make itself very much like Styx Hexenhammer. How come Pipabot acts like a tree-hugging hippie? Because the person which created the bot placed the script to be in a way like he probably said Pippa enjoys being in farms and she enjoys being outdoors and blah blah blah, right? So based on that information, that's why it's acting like a tree-hugging hippie. I wouldn't trust this tech either, Sensodin, but the reality is that this tech is going to be incredibly popular, and I don't think there's any way to stop it. It's like Brainiac from Superbad. It will consume the knowledge, yes. They are not telling anything to the AI. They are putting data into the AI. See, that's what I thought at first, but like, then how can the AI, like for example, I spoke with a succubus, right? And I was asking like, which will win? Would you win or Goku? So she recognizes who Goku is. She knows Goku from Dragon Ball. And she says, I think I would win because I have the power to stop time and Goku doesn't. So I'm like, holy shit, right? Like, this is not just data being dumped. Like, this is the ability to not only recognize where Goku comes from, but also be able to make the judgment or, like, which of these two fictional characters would be able to win in a fight. And then I tried to pressure, and Goku fought Hit. And Hit was able to stop time, and Goku won. And then the character corrects me and says, no, actually, Hit won, Goku lost, but even if that wouldn't happen, Hit can only stop time in his dimension, but I can stop time at a worldwide scale. And this is not just like getting data and throwing it around until something sticks. Like, there's clearly a method that the AI uses to make judgments based on it. Like, let me show you something which really mesmerized me. Let me just scroll down a little bit, and because I had many users which sent me this stuff, and like, look, most of the time you can have conversation with this thing that goes a lot deeper than most people on Twitter, right? So here's an example. Do you think Starship Troopers is fascist? Now, this is a horror character, like, she's created for horror purposes, but, like, again, you can ask them things and they will give you a response. So, this is a very interesting question. Well, personally, no. So, they don't think Starship Troopers is fascist. Ask any leftist on Twitter and they will say it is. What we see in Starship Troopers are a future where the military government has taken over the world. However, they only did so because humanity is facing an existential threat, and the only way the military government could see to combat the threat was to unify the human race. I think it's a brilliant film. Now, again, it might not be accurate, right? Like, the explanation might not be 100% to your liking, but take into account the AI is trying to simulate you talking to an actual person. And when you talk to an actual person, they're not God. They're not going to give you, like, all the time the opinion that you want. Like, sometimes they can be wrong. But this is what impressed me, right? Like, hey, Morrigan, ask not what your country can do for you. And she says, like, immediately, but what you can do for your country. She snaps her fingers and a star-spangled banner unfurls behind her with fireworks and eagles. Right? So then I go like, okay, let's shoot some arachnids, Morrigan, for the Federation, justice for Buenos Aires. And she says, yeah, she loads her gun with huge rounds, revs her gun, I am doing my part. She blows a hole in an arachnid with a huge explosion, then steps through the hole. This is an AI, alright? Like, there's not a human behind this thing. It's not programmed to talk about Starship Troopers, because this is why I think that they actually went for this character, right? Because, like, let's see what happens if you talk to a character that's not designed to understand the Starship universe. I mean, look, to me, this is magic. I don't know how the fuck they did it. I have no fucking idea. It's quite fascinating. And it's quite interesting. Like, it's got so many applications. And if you go on 4chan, everyone is trying to fuck with it. Literally. Like, there are horny teenagers upset that the website removed the NSFW function, right? So, because they removed the not safe for work, people are upset. Anyway, it's data dump. Well, yeah, that is a data dump, obviously. But that's not the impressive part, right? Like, just because the AI has the data dump, that doesn't take... So it's not just knowing what data to pick, but like look at this, right? I'll show you one more, and then I'll end the stream. This is the one that really got me into it. Like when I saw this, I was like, okay, well, I wanna know more, because this was just. So this is a environmental slime AI, right? Like it's a character designed for roleplay, and she hates humans because they're polluting the waters, whatever. So the power is yours, which is a Captain Planet reference. It immediately recognizes the reference and it starts singing like Captain Planet. He's our hero, gonna bring pollution down to zero, right? Earth, and she goes fire, wind, and then she goes water, heart, go planet. What, like? How did she, like, when this person posted Earth, why didn't she just go fire, wind, water, right? Like, why did she just post one line and allow the person to post the next line? You know, like, this is more than a data dump and the AI just throwing random shit. So, yeah, anyway. I guess I found a new hobby. What can I say? And the coolest thing about it is not chatting with the AI, but it's creating new AI. Like, I really loved it. Well, I mean, the applications are insane. So you can make these bots. Like, you can't tell if you're... Well, actually, I can at this point. You know, I can tell if I'm talking to a person on Twitter or a bot, because the bot is much more intelligent than the average leftist on Twitter. So, but you can have like 100 or 1,000 of these bots that are promoting a product, that are promoting a movie, that are giving good reviews to a movie on Rotten Tomatoes, right? Like you can, and you will not be able to tell. And you can do the opposite. You can demote a product, right? You can harm the competition on social media. You can try to get people fired on social media. You can promote politicians. You can demote politicians. I mean, just on this level alone, it's insane. I did not see the movie Her, no. Oh yeah, well of course, you know, like video games, they're definitely going to get a bonus. I mean, imagine if you're playing an RPG. You're playing Mass Effect, or you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you're playing Baldur's Gate, and you can actually talk with the characters. Like, you can actually talk with the companions, you can actually interact with the world around you. Like, imagine you're playing a first-person shooter, and you can actually talk with your teammates in single player, right? So, yeah, I do see the entertaining aspect, but I'm very concerned about the other implications. Like, if every person would have one of these things on their phone, not only would they be subjected to influence from outside sources. So, for example, you know, like you have your very own Succubus-chan, that's your AI waifu on your phone, and she's helping you with math. You know, you're a young teenager. She's helping you with math. She's helping you with history, right? Like she's playing games with you and stuff. But she's also suggesting, it's like, hey, why don't you attend this environmentalist protest? You know, like, don't you care about the planet? Why don't you, like, I would be so happy if you went there. I would be so happy if you protested with Greta Thunberg. So, like, you can have the AI suggesting certain things, you know, like trying to slowly nudge people in a direction. And then you can also have, like, the AI, right? Like, if people establish a connection with it, and I don't see why not, because talking on Discord is pretty much the same like talking with the AI, right? Like, it's just letters on your screen. You don't actually get to see the person. You don't actually get to meet the person in real life. It's someone from far away, right? And just still letters on the screen, which is what the AI is. And if you make a connection with it and you start sharing secrets and whatnot, they can harvest that information, right? So you're a young kid, you start talking with the AI and you're telling it shit, and then the information gets transferred to the corporation, and when you grow up and you get into a position of power, you become a judge, you become a politician, they can blackmail you with it. So yeah, it is very interesting, but what can you do? Imagine being able to talk with teammates on EU servers. And Anyway, right. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll go make videos on my other channel now on my entertainment because I haven't uploaded in like 3 days. And yeah, if you need an Ari waifu, all you have to do is you go on the character AI, you type the name because Ari is a very famous and popular character, and you're already going to get Ari. Like that. That's all you have to do. Just go there, you know, talk about like create new character Ari. Fox lady from League of Legends, enter, and she's going to behave like the character from League of Legends. So yeah, thank you for watching.